and now I get an ad about some movie. No idea what this movie is.
It's always a good sign. Come on, I'm not even getting anything.
I'm getting an ad, so something's coming.
Still showing offline here, but it's... Oh no, wait a sec.
With AllTV, we have access to up to 500 live and on-demand channels.
Live sports, award shows, breaking news, documentaries, music videos, movies, more live sports, more music videos, more awards.
Bobrovsky.
I'm getting a couple of really excitable people talking about some streaming service that's probably not even available in Canada.
Oh, interesting. Oh, there, I got your picture.
Yeah, I'm still stuck in the ad. Come on.
I clicked play and it suddenly worked. Okay, I see you. And...
Can you hear me at least? If you can hear me, I'll assume we're okay. Gudu Creative's here.
Yes, I hear myself too, so perfect.
Okay,
just what
I'm
we
just
want.
gonna... Let me... There we go. Okay, I think we're finally good.
With AllTV, we have access...
Oh, okay, yeah, just... Alright, interesting.
Okay,
All right,
yeah,
you
go
ready
ahead.
to get started then?
Yep, go ahead.
Alright. Hello, and welcome to another Franchise Hockey Manager 3 stream. My name is Adam. I'm the community manager of Franchise Hockey. With me, as always, is FHM producer Jeff, who is currently pictured on your screen. Say hi, Jeff.
Hey, everybody.
And we are back with the 1971-72 LA Kings. We are in January, which means we are trying to push towards the playoffs. And we picked up everybody we possibly could, right?
Yeah, pretty much. And hopefully, just before we get started, we should hopefully, if you can hear us okay, we had a few sound issues getting set up. So if we're dropping out, or if you can't hear either one of us, which case you wouldn't hear what I'm saying right now, but hey, say something and we'll try to fix it. But anyhow, yeah, we are kind of a disappointing follow-up to the big season we had last year. We're still third in the West, and in a solid playoff spot. But this team is, I'd say, underperforming a little bit. I mean, we picked up, we've made some trades. We had a really good draft, loaded up with, well, we've got Swedish players with the team, which are there a couple of seasons before the end. They started to show up in the NHL. Borje Salming and Anders Hedberg, we took him as well. It's the WHA hasn't started up yet, so we've grabbed him before the Jets could get him, and that is something we're going to have to be conscious of, because the WHA will be starting in this off season. So we got to make sure our guys are tied down to multi-year deals before we get into the off season, or we're going to be losing some people. But anyhow, I think I will. I made a couple of minor adjustments. I don't think we've got any injury issues. And Radcast asking about how the Vegas Golden Knights look. Kind of ironic, because we're going to be having a expansion draft in this game a little later in the season. You can see at 72 when Atlanta and the Islanders came in. I know it's hard to say much about that team right now, because we don't know all the deals that have been made behind the scenes that aren't going to come out till tomorrow. I mean, the team looks pretty rough at this point, but I'm sure that McPhee knew what he was doing. And
well, I found it interesting they took 3 players from Winnipeg.
3 players?
Already. Yeah, well, they took Leipzig, Picard with the first pick, and then Eakin, Cody Eakin. So,
I thought you were talking from the Jets, just from Winnipeg in general.
No,
Winnipeg, the city, not Winnipeg, the team. I'm going to run this through to the end of January while we're talking, and hopefully we won't get too many injuries and getting a bunch of ties so far. But yeah, I mean, the Canucks lost Lucas Biza, which was the most logical thing for them, logical guy for Vegas to take. Go ahead.
I got a little bit of laughs too. I don't know if you're checking Sportsnet at all this week, and Down Goes Brown did a all-time expansion draft protection list for teams.
Yeah.
And of course, on the Vancouver one, he goes, Mark Messier just missed because he got protected by Edmonton instead of Vancouver. So I saw that and I smiled and laughed and thought of you.
Yeah. Okay, you got a development report here, and looks like we're still hovering just a little bit above 500. Salmon coming along nicely. Steve Durbano, who was one of our later picks this year, is kind of working out well. Gilles Marat, only 26, but he's declining, and that's pretty much in line with what he did in real life. I think he was out of the league by about 77. Bill White going downhill too, but in general, I don't think we changed on. Looks like White is hurt. What's going wrong with him? Oh, and Gordie Howe, incidentally, who was our big acquisition early in the season. Or last year, rather, wasn't it? We got him last year. Yeah, we got him last year. Yeah, he hurt his biceps right before, it was right after Christmas. And is gone for another month or so at least. And what is going on with Bill White? Strained ACL. And he's gone for 2 or 3 months, so he's going on the long-term injured reserve. So that is our captain there. That's not great news. Ed Van Imp can go back into the lineup. Let's see what the AI wants to do with that. Salming onto the top pair. Yeah, I kind of like that setup. I'll swap Leach and Bordelot.
All right, so in exchange for taking, just Vegas draft news coming out, in exchange for Vegas taking Chris Thorburn and leaving Enstrom alone from Winnipeg, Winnipeg sent its 13th overall pick and a third rounder in 2019 for the 24th overall pick.
Wait, how do they know what their overall pick is in 2019? That doesn't make sense.
No. The 24th overall pick in this draft.
In this draft? Oh, okay, that you said in 2019.
Yes. No, a third round pick in 2019.
And it looks like we got a little. I'm just running it through. Oh, whoops! I should stop that because I don't remember where the trade deadline is this year. Oh, March the 6th. We can go to the end of February. So another week, and it looks like we finally started winning. So yeah, it looks like McPhee really stocked up on the draft picks. And I think I'm sure there's going to be a question about what we're going to be doing with the expansion draft for FHM4, and it's actually what I spent a good chunk of the day working on today, getting the draft list together so we could start testing the system we're going to use for it. I can't say anything about it yet, but we definitely want to have the possibility of drafting your own team in there. But stay tuned as for how we're going to go about doing that. And we're picking up the injuries here. Ted McNeely, who's been kind of a surprise for us, out day to day, but Reggie Leach is down for a couple of weeks. So I'm going to have to take him out, and don't know if I want to put Britt Selby in. Let's see if we'll have a look at the reserve list and see if there's anybody who's worth bringing up. Mike Christie, free agent signing, who's done. We see we've got a ton of defensive depth. Simon Nollet, Morris Mott, but I think we'll give Willie Lindstrom a shot. Another one of our draft picks, and up to 3 Swedish guys on the roster now.
Interesting.
Let's just sit McAnally out and put Marat in.
Now, we're not in trouble or a chance of getting fired here, are we?
Good question. We should just have a quick look at that. No, absolutely not. Nice and green. Season objective is only the playoffs, so we should be able to make that without too much trouble. I'm just looking at the standing screen now. Yeah, we're only 3 points out of first place in the West, although the Hawks have a game in hand. Tied with California, who's just kind of put together a monster team in the last season or two. And amazingly enough, Vancouver in their second year ahead of Boston by 2 points. The Bruins in this game are not at all the way they were in real life in the early 70s. They didn't make that big trade with Chicago. They're basically Bobby Orr and not much else. But no, I don't want to go to the end of the month. Just want to go to the trading deadline. And then we'll have to decide what to do here. Having a look at the roster, hopefully no new injuries. Yeah, McAneely is almost ready to come back. So Leach is a couple of weeks. White and Howe, we're going to be getting them back before the playoffs. So I don't think we really, that's going to be a sort of a natural boost for us off of whatever we're finishing the season with.
It doesn't appear to be a lot on the trade block either, I don't think.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think of is there a logical place where we could improve the team? And keeping in mind we have to think about what we're going to expose in the expansion draft next year. Terry Harper's still on a 1-year contract. I think I'm going to... 1 year left on his contract. I'm going to see if he wants a...
What about Dave Kearns is also...
Dennis Kearns? Yeah, he's...
Dennis Kearns. Sorry, Dennis.
Come on, respect the Canucks.
If nothing else, he would be a good guy to have possibly open for the expansion team.
Yeah, let's... is there anybody else that's reasonably high potential? It's only got a year left on the expansion team. Kearns, McIntosh, who's pretty much topped out. Rosser, Bruce Gamble, nobody there that I really think we need to keep.
Might also... What about Ed Van Imp if we put him up for...
Oh, and Kearns just wanted $17,000 a year, so that's a easy choice to make, giving him a renewal. Van Imp, yeah, I guess so. He's only got 2 stars, but he's a shot blocking specialist, and he's... Don't think I want to give him quite that much. I'm gonna drop it down to 55,000 and see if he's okay with that.
What about Bruce McIntosh as well?
Probably not any point in doing it because we're going to be grabbing a bunch of new guys in the draft, and he's about number 12 on our depth chart now for defense.
Okay.
There's other young guys. Christian Durbano are going to be coming along. Even Jerome Angley. Dennis Patterson, yeah, I don't think we have to worry about him. We'll just let him walk.
All right. Sounds good.
I'd rather have the contract spot, really, at this point. And, okay, but getting back to where we were, let's have a look at the stats right now. Guy Chiron having a good year, Ernie Hick, Catola, Barry, Dave Burrows having it's a better offensive year than I think he ever had in real life. He's kind of benefiting from playing with that first line. Sanderson, who was kind of a reclamation project we got, hasn't been having a bad year. Dan Maloney would like a little more scoring out of him. And Terry O'Reilly's still young. It's his rookie year. He's not even getting much of a chance to fight. And Lindstrom, no points in those 3 games that we gave him. I mean, looking at this, could maybe look around, see if there's a depth center available and for one of our younger defensemen.
Could be, yep. But I'm not sure who to target at this point. So who's low on our... Okay, Philly's really low in Minnesota.
Yeah, just flipping through the league, looking for the trade block guys. Lou Angotti from the Canucks, but he's only 1 star. Don't want him. Terry Crisp in Buffalo, 1.5. And that appears to be pretty much it for centers. So we're not going to get anybody off the trading block. I'm going to see if anybody is looking for a left defenseman, since that seems to be the thing we're really loaded at right now. Although I vaguely... there we go. The Blues have a weakness at left defense. And have they got a center? Andre Lacroix there. Ray Como, who was a decent third liner in Atlanta for a few years. I mean, they've got 2 good centers. Vic Vanaski, an actual king in real life. He's only 20. That's not a bad option, but he's only showing 1.5 star potential. Although I think our scouts may be a little bit wrong on that. Just going to quickly flip through the other teams, see if anybody else wants a defenseman. I think we're going to have to just settle for a relatively minor deal here.
Fair enough.
I just had to check there. I saw D. Cherry. It's Dick Cherry, Don's brother, not Grapes, playing for the Blues. Since I mean, this is really only going to be a fourth-line replacement for Larry Lund right now. So I think it probably makes sense to go after Vanaski. He's only 20. And for one of those many minor league guys, actually I'll try McIntosh as the first one, since we were expecting to give him up anyhow, but they're not going to want to do that apparently. Let's see, Angley. Nope, they want a little bit more, so I'm going to throw in a really late draft pick, 8th rounder.
An 8th round pick?
How
will we get by?
Yeah, but as well as the Jets will without Chris Thorburn, I think.
Well then.
And it's going to be Angley and an 8th rounder for Vic Vanaski, so I will do that, and that will be the extent of our trade deadline moves this year. And with that, I think Britt Selby is the one that's going to go down to the farm team, or reserve list in the case of this game. Oops, should see what the AI wants to do for dressing players first. Wants to sit Marot out again, and it's going to put Lindstrom on the bench, but we'll leave him up. And Vanaski gets 3rd line over Sanderson. That's weird. I don't want that. Okay, the news is probably just that trade. Yep. And I will advance one day and see if any other interesting deals happened. No, apparently nothing. Quiet trading day. Trading deadline.
Oh, if there's hardly anybody looking for something, so it's not too unsurprising.
Yeah. Yeah, there was barely anybody on the trading deadline, trading block.
Yeah.
But what'll probably shake things up, here we go. We got somebody, Reggie Leach is back from injury, so that helps a little bit. And the nice thing is we were apparently, I gotta have a look at that schedule. I think we were on a big winning streak there.
36, 23, 11. Pass that.
37, 23, 13, and Bill White and Gordie Howe only showing 2 to 3 weeks each, so that's good news there. No problems with their recovery. You cut out there? Were you going to say something?
No, sorry. Just saw that Vegas is completely done picking its team, so.
Yeah, I think they've actually done that like really early in the day.
Well, yeah.
It's just taking all this time to filter the news to filter out. And then we'll find out tomorrow what all the little side deals were.
They were announcing it during the NHL awards.
Yeah.
So they're grouping them out.
And we are only 1 point out of first place in the West, and 4th overall in the league. So not bad for a team that was an expansion team 5 years ago. I think it's one of our better games here. Flyers dead last. So let's get this to the end of March. Season ends very soon, actually. I think they were on still a 76-game schedule at this point. And I am, in case you're just watching this for the first time, normally we go into a little more depth and playing individual games out, but I'm kind of rushing that through because we were, started as an expansion team. We were bad for a few years, and we're just getting into the interesting part of the run now, and we'll probably start slowing that down next season. Development report here. Salming, another huge development, 4 points up. Marot continuing to decline. Derek Sanderson going downhill, which is not good news. Hedberg up a little, Leach up a little. And that's okay. Guy Charon, our leading scorer, was out, but it's only day-to-day with a bruised hand, so not a huge deal. How many games we got left here? Oh, it's 78 games now, I guess. We're probably not going to catch the Hawks for first, but I think we've clinched over California for second. And I think we've clinched fourth overall in the league. Oops.
Excellent. Can't complain too much about that.
Yeah, just in this game it's actually against California, and they beat us 5-1, but it's not going to matter because we're 3 points ahead of them, and we finished ahead of them. Finished the season with 91 points, and I'll just let the league end the season here. Slightly worrying that we don't have Howe and White back yet, although Gordie Howe is ready to resume skating at least, so very, very close. And Bill White is day-to-day too. Howe is a week or two away. Ouch. Just to recap what happened last time, we had a good season, wound up getting upset in the first round, so we really don't want that to be happening again this year. And the Canucks make the playoffs, it looks like, in the East. Wow, that's kind of an upset.
Something's clearly wrong there.
Yeah. Just wait, WHA's coming in. I can start making fun of the Jets in the next season or so. Okay, and the scoring for this year, Ernie Hick with a great year. Guy Charon, despite that little injury at the end. Nice points. Boreas Salmon, great rookie year. Dave Burrows, also a good season. Hedberg did okay. Leach is coming along gradually, a little bit slow. He was our first pick 2 years ago. And Cheevers with another solid season in goal, and better yet, we got a goalie with a 5 heat rating going into the playoffs.
Excellent. Just what we need.
Yeah, we did not... I don't think we had a great goaltending performance last year in the playoffs. That was part of the problem. And Bill White is almost ready, but not quite. I wanted to have a look at that little... Yeah, you can see that. Look at that win streak we've got in here. From about beginning of February through mid-March. 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's about 13, 3, and 2, if I'm reading it right. So we had a really nice run there. And we did lose that last game to California, but they're our first-round opponent now in the playoffs. I think the format this year was 1v4 and 2v3 in each division. So the Canucks get the Leafs, Rangers, Canadiens, I think, and Hawks, Penguins. But right now we got California. Let's take a quick look at their lineup. Rogie Vachon in goal, ironically enough, because he was a Kings goalie at this point in real life, I think. I think he'd been traded to them by now. From Montreal. So he's their starter. From what I remember, yeah, now looking at this again, they've basically got one really good unit. Oh, Bob Stewart turned into a 3.5-star defenseman. He was nowhere that good in real life. Steve Carr, wow, they've had some freakish development. We do have, this isn't yearly recalculation of ratings turned on here. It's it's standard FHM development, so we're going to get some players developing differently than they did historically. And Cardwell, who is I think barely an NHLer, I think he played more in the WHA. 300 penalty minutes, 60 points, and 3.5 stars. Wow, it's a surprise. But the scary thing, Bob Clark, Guy Lafleur, and Gilbert Perreault all on the same team. So they've had some nice drafts and free agent signings. Guy Lapointe back there. So that's I think 5 real-life Hall of Famers on this team. And is there any? At least there's they got nobody on the injury list, so they're healthy too. The nice thing is they're relatively thin. It's a bunch of 5 stars and a bunch of 1.5-star guys. So we got to outscore them on the bottom line. You can see, yeah, Clark, Lapointe hit 102 points. Lafleur, I think that was his rookie year. He didn't. He about matched his real life total. I think that's around where he was in the 70s for his first couple of seasons before he broke out and started getting 130 point seasons. Bob Bond still kicking around. Barry Long, future Winnipeg Jets captain. And yeah, that's okay. We got to beat these guys on their bottom line, on the bottom 2 or 3 lines. Well, bottom 2 lines, or second and third line really, because it's the shorter roster at this point in history. We don't have a full third line.
Fourth line.
Fourth line, rather, yeah. And I'm not going to rush Howe or White back unless we get into a really bad spot. I can't even bring Howe back yet. But let's see, is that... Oh, Sharon, thank God, is healthy. Vanaski really didn't do anything after that trade, so I think I'm going to sit him. Put Sharon back in. Reggie Leach was always a good playoff player, so I'm moving him up a little bit, and let's see if we can give him a bit more of an offensive role. London O'Reilly on the fourth line. See, I mean, I like our depth a lot better relative to theirs.
Which is what we wanted.
Yeah. Gonna try and bump up the ice time for that first defensive pair. Hedberg, surprisingly enough, wound up on the first line with Sharon Hick. And we got our first game, so let's actually watch that one.
Sorry, we are playing who at this point?
California.
Right.
And I think I'll just go super fast, assuming to the end of the period, and that's not good because they scored the first goal. Patnaud beating Cheevers. But Hedberg evens it up. And we are out shooting them.
Right.
I'm just looking at the... tactics-wise, we've got a pretty good advantage over them everywhere except our penalty killing. And Reggie Leach makes it 2-1 just before the end of the second. So, fairly good start, much better than the sad performance in last year's playoffs. It was down on our end for quite a bit there, but seems to be relatively even at this point. We killed a penalty there and still 2-1 into this end of the second, so let's see if we can hang on to this 1-goal lead. Guy Chiron having a very nice game, 75 offensive game rating. And starting up the third. Took a penalty, but got out of it. And Catola makes it 3-1, so we got the insurance goal now. And Bob Barry makes it 4-1, so we're cruising now. Pretty good start to the playoffs. Skip Craik gets California back within 2. Then Perreault gets them back within 1. Come on, guys. Calm down here. Oh, no. What? Perreault scores again.
Oh, man.
What the... How many goals was that in... 1526, 1653, and that one was 1718. 3 goals within under 3 minutes. And Anders Hedberg comes right back and scores like 10 seconds later for us. Okay, that's a crazy finish.
As he should.
And we even had a penalty at the end, but they couldn't even it up. They actually wound up out shooting us 36-33, but that was a wild game. Hey. We come out at 5-4. Guy Chiron, the first star with 3 assists. We did have Cheevers in goal. I actually, California started Jerry Desjardins instead of Rogie Vachon in the first game. Bit of a surprise.
Yeah.
They're going to be going with him in this series. That's I won't mind too much if they do that. And how are White and Howe doing? White, Howe is back day to day. Okay, so we've almost got our two big veterans back. I don't think I want, as scary as that was, I'm not going to make any changes in the lineup after that game. Actually, yeah, Larry Lund for some reason doesn't like his ice time. He's unhappy. I'm going to swap in Vanaski for him. So if I remember right, Vanaski was a decent, was a decent defensive forward. Just put him into the grinder role, and
I love the idea of, oh, you're upset about your ice time? Then go sit in the press box.
Yeah, appreciate what you had there, buddy. Oops, still not finished today. Want to play that? And they went with Desjardins again in goal. And tactical situation looks pretty much the same, so let's hope we get a similar result tonight. And JP Bordelot opens up the scoring for us. 1-0 on our first shot of the game. But Bobby Clark evens it up there. Yeah, good is right. I don't think we haven't actually won the cup in a save yet in one of these games yet, have we? The streams. 1-1.
The closest we got was our future Winnipeg Jets game, where basically the game did everything it could to stop us.
And Bordelot with the second goal of the game to make it 2-1 for us halfway through the second. I think the goal for this should be try and get the cup before the Flyers did in real life, because they were the first expansion team to win the cup in '75.
Yeah.
And we are only at 72 now, and I think we've got a reasonable shot at it this year, especially once I get our injured guys back. And in the third...
You say that, and then you're going to watch this get blown right in front of you.
Yeah, that's should have shut up, because Chico Mackey made it 2-2 right after I said that. And 5 minutes left in the third. It is still tied 2-2, maybe looking at overtime here. And here we are, overtime. We're out shooting them 34-26. Don't see any major... Bordelot and Leach aren't having fantastic defensive games, but Bordelot's got a couple of goals to make up for it. Okay, cross your fingers. Here comes overtime.
My fingers
down into our end a little too much, and Ed Van Imp, of all people, gets the winner in overtime for us.
All right.
And that was Van Imp from Reggie Leach, and with his first point in the playoffs, and Dan Maloney, our first assist in the playoffs at least. Now, Radcast won the AFCO Cup. Who'd you win it with?
I think he was the Whalers, if I'm not mistaken. But it's been a while. It's not easy to win.
Well, I mean, it's a little easier than the Stanley Cup because there's fewer teams. It's kind of like winning a Grey Cup at the CFL. Yeah, Whalers. You're right. Okay, so we're up 2-0 in this series, which I'm pretty sure is best of 5. And the injured guys aren't back yet, but I'm not going to worry about that too much.
No, this is a best of 7.
Oh, this is 7? Okay. And Bill White is ready to come back. So, do we have a roster spot for him? Yes, we do. Oh, you started after they got the house. Okay. That makes it a little bit easier. And I think Terry Harper is going to have to sit down, even though he's an assistant captain, to make room for White. Because I don't want to pull Van Imp out right after the guy gets a game-winning goal.
Okay, now remind me, did New England win? They were the New England Whalers then.
Yep, they were the New England Whalers.
Did they win an Avco Cup?
I think they had one, yeah.
Can you confirm that?
I don't think Howe ever won one in Houston. I think he had at least one Avco Cup.
Howe's and Hansen.
Oh, multiple Hansons.
Only ever really have one Hansen. I don't think he can.
And game 3 against the Seals. Are they going to swap goalies? Nope. Sticking with Jerry Desjardins for the playoffs, apparently. Not sure why, but I will take it. And wow, gave him a 2-man advantage right off the start, but they didn't do anything with it.
Actually,
and JP Bordelot, who's somehow red hot, gets, I think, the 3rd goal of the series for us. But Guy Lapointe gets it right back, so 1-1. What were you going to
say? You are incorrect.
He never did?
No, New England won it in the inaugural season, beating Winnipeg.
Oh, there we go.
And then Houston won it back-to-back years in 74, 75. Jets won it in 76. Quebec won it in 77. And then Winnipeg won it back-to-back years to close it out, 78, 79.
I don't remember Houston winning it. By the way, we were getting killed. It's 4-2 California midway through the second period. 5-2 now, so not the greatest game for us. This is, I think, would have been the first one in Oakland. 5-2, so I think we'll just let this play out and figure out what we've got to do to right the ship here. And not a great... well, Bill White did okay. He's not spectacular numbers, but I think I may need to switch. I just went with the AI's lines here, and wow, yeah, 6-2, and we got outshot 37-28.
Yeah.
So I got to take a little...
Sorry, no, go ahead.
What were you going to say?
I was just going to say, Howe played for the Avco Cup 3 times. Twice with Houston and once with the Whalers in 78, where he would have played versus the Jets.
And speaking of, I'm going to take him off put him on the active roster, but I think he is still, he's still Red Cross and can't play yet. So I'd really, even if he gets back to the, I'll just skip into the next game. I was going to change the lineup a little bit. Swap White and Van Imp. Roles are all the same, so that doesn't matter. Oh, Leach, that's why Bordelot is scoring. He was in the second line spot. Move him back down to the 3rd. Now Sanderson should not...
Oh, I'm wrong. Gordie Howe would have played. Gordie Howe would have played for the Avco Cup 4 times. It says 3, but it was 3 with Houston and once with New England.
Yeah, I think I'm going to leave Cheevers in. Only one bad game, and I think he was still on a 3 or a 4 for a heat rating, and Melange was at 0.
Ratcast really wants Melange in.
Well, Cheevers is doing okay. He hasn't let in a goal yet this period, and Reggie Leach gets the first one for us. Wow, we are shooting him 24-4 in the first period, and finished at 1-0. So it looks like the team came back pretty well to that embarrassing loss, 26-4. They're not getting anything on us.
Excellent.
And yeah, I think switching the lineup around had a big effect. We've got, I think, much bigger tactical advantages now. And Reggie Leach gets his second to make it 2-0. Anders Hedberg making it 3-0. Alrighty, we're in real good shape right now. Oh, Cheevers finally gives up one, so 3-1, but let's just hold it together and not have another breakdown like we did in the first game. Derek Sanderson makes it 4-1. I'm not going to say we're safe, because the last time I did that, things kind of got ugly. Although they're now 4-2. So apparently that doesn't help when I do that. And Borja Salming into the empty net for the 5-2 win. Tommy Williams gets a late goal for the Seals, but it doesn't matter. We are up 3-1 now. And let's just have a look how the other series are going. Not surprisingly, Canucks got swept by the Leafs in 4 games. Chicago sweeping Pittsburgh, and Montreal and the Rangers are deadlocked at 2. So I'm starting to think we're not going to get Howe back until the second round.
Well, we don't need him anyways.
Nah, you always need Gordie Howe. Come on.
You often can use him, but I think he'll be better if he's ready for round 2.
And our Cheevers is at 4 stars, so I'm going to leave that exactly as it was in the previous game. Yeah, it looks okay. Oh, did I switch the wingers back? I don't think I did, damn. And Bob Clark gets the first goal for the Seals to give them an early lead. Reggie Leach evening it up. Funnily enough, the 2 guys who won the Cup for the Flyers in the mid-70s both scoring in this for the 2 California teams. And I think Bill White got that one? No, set it up. That was Sharon making it 2-1 for us. And Tom Williams evens it up, so 2-2 at the end of the first period. They are out shooting us, which isn't great, and Cheevers gives up another one. Come on, guys, get back in this. You want to finish the series tonight? Nope, 4-2. Gilbert Perreault beats Cheevers. I think I'm gonna, if we don't get within a goal by the end of this period, I'm gonna open things up a little bit. And we didn't, so global tactics, we're actually playing a low tempo system. I'm going to switch it to, well, let's really open it up. Very high risk offense. Leach and Bordelot can trade places. White and Van Imp as well.
So we're going all out for the win here.
Yep, or at least, get it into overtime, and then I'll ratchet back the offensive risk-taking a bit. PWOG 66, go Wings. The Wings went, I think, all the way to second last in the league this year, so Ernie Hick gets us within 1. After we stole Gordie Howe from them. Putting a pressure on, and Guy Lafleur scores into the empty net. So, 5-3 loss. You're going to go to Game 6 in this, and maybe we do indeed get Howe back in time for that. But not yet. Okay, game today. Let's take a careful look at what's going on here. I think despite Van Imp getting that goal, I'm going to pull Tim out, put Harper back in. Howe still can't play. Let trade Vanaski back for Lund, even though if Lund's unhappy right now. Cheevers has dropped a point in hotness. And quit forcing Bordelot up to that third line. Actually, I'm going to put Bordelot down in the fourth, even though he's been playing well. Going to put O'Reilly into the tough guy role on that line and let Sanderson see if he can score a little bit more.
Sounds like a good call.
And I think I'm happy with the rest of that. Power play, penalty. Power play looks okay. Penalty killing. Yeah, Bordelot's still getting some time there. That's okay. Yeah. Okay, come on. Let's finish this in 6 now. Desjardins versus Cheevers again. And still with most of the tactical advantages, except that they're a little better than us on their power play against our penalty killing. But we're out shooting them 5-2, 6-2 early, so I think that may have been the right moves. Those may have been the right moves to make. Although they're bouncing back, they're ahead of us. And wow, they outshot us 14-8. They came on strong at the end of that period. I'm not going to make any changes yet, but that's a little worrying. Calm down a little bit, but we're still way behind on shots. And
Just
there we
trying to
go.
make
Dave
it
Burrows,
challenging.
defensive defenseman, but scoring an unusual amount this year, and he makes it 1-0 for us at the end of the second, so let's hang on here. Who'd the Wings wind up losing the expansion draft today?
The guy who was leading scorer for them in the AHL playoffs. Timu. No. Wait,
Oh,
that was the
Palkinen?
former wing. Yeah, well, he went, but he was with Arizona, right?
And we lost a shutout by the way, but we won that 2-1. So the series is over, and we are finally into the second round of the playoffs.
All right, pulling the list up here.
And
Golden Knights selected.
looks like the playoffs reseed in the second round. I'm not sure if it's supposed to do that, so I'll have to take a look and maybe fix that. But second round is us against, God help us, Toronto, and Montreal and Chicago. And for anybody who hasn't been watching these, our record against the Leafs, for some reason in these games, is kind of scary. We generally get blown out by, what is it? I think we've had 8-2, 10-4. Was that the worst one?
We lost 10 or 11-1 at one point, I believe.
Yeah, it's not. It hasn't been pretty. Okay, so
Okay.
we are ready to the first day of game one. Go ahead.
I was just looking for the Detroit pick, and it's... Why is it not here? That's weird.
And
Okay, here we go. Thomas Nozick.
okay, so not really a critical part, I guess. And
No.
Gordie Howe is still not ready to come back for us. So come on, Gordie, we need you against the Leafs. I'm going to go with the same lineup we did in that Game 6. Gary Smith in goal for Toronto, and I should have looked at their lineup. Frank Mahovlich, they still have. Gary Younger playing on the wing. Dave Keon. Yeah, it looks a little bit like the real Leafs in the early 70s, but there's a lot of other faces. Yvonne Bolderev, Serge Bernier, Dale Talon. So this is a decent team. Yeah, it's about right. Good, 23,000 and something for them, 7 for us. But here, Anders Hedberg makes it 1-0 early on. And Ted McAneely, kind of a surprise, 2-0. Are we actually going to beat up the Leafs for once?
Probably not.
Seems unlikely, but 2-0 at the end of the first. Yeah, we're keeping the shots down nicely. What's the... tactically, they're about even with us. Well, actually, no, they're a little better than us. They've got bigger advantages. But shots are 21-20 at the end of the second, but still 2-0 for us. So Cheevers is kind of holding in, and Gary Smith makes it 3-0 right at the beginning of the third. They're really outshooting us now, though. It's up to 33-22. Cheevers is just shutting them down, though. Former Leaf Jerry Cheevers. It's one of the guys that was stuck in their farm system, and Maloney makes it 4-0. 4-0, and finally we get our revenge on the Leafs. Looks like we had a big run at the end. We got the final shots for 39-37. So kind of a wide open game. Who got the first star? Jerry Cheevers, not surprisingly. 39 saves for the shutout.
As he should.
So that is promising. Let's see if we can do that in the second game. How'd the other first... Montreal looks like beat Chicago in the other game. Oh yeah, by the way, Montreal knocked off the, Rangers are 3 or 4-time Cup champions in this game. So Montreal finally screwed up their dynasty, and into Game 2 against the Leafs. Still no Gordie Howe, but if Cheevers can play like that, it won't matter.
Excellent.
What team got hurt the most because of the expansion draft? Did anybody really get hurt? I mean, compared to what they lost out of the lineup, compared to how important the players were, to how good the player was. The Canucks lost Sabisa, who was a pretty good defenseman for him and was relatively important last year, but I don't think anybody really got killed, and the Leafs finally scored on us. But
I think what could be the most interesting one was the fact Colorado let Calvin Pickard go.
Yeah, he hasn't really developed the way everybody expected him to, though. Same with his brother.
Yeah, but he's only 25, and I mean, he played 58 games last year, was pretty good, on a very bad Colorado team.
True enough, yeah.
So
they did nicely with their goalies, Fleury and Pickard. That's solid goaltending, if nothing else. And Toronto is up 3-0 in this game for us, so they turned right around on us. And 4-0, so it's just going to be a rerun of the first game in the opposite direction. Nope, they're going to get 5. So back to the Toronto curse. 6-0. Ah, man, come on.
What is going on?
At this point, I'm happy that it's not possible to lose more than 1 point of heat for a goalie in a game. Boy, do I want to change anything here. Getting near the end of this, I think I'll try to get this ahead relatively quickly. Still no Gordie Howe. Do I make roster changes? Swap London Vanaski again, I guess. And I'll leave Harper in for now.
We just can't seem to catch a break, huh?
Yeah, I think that's fine the way it is. Hopefully that's just a fluke, and we did steal home advantage from him at least, assuming we can win this. Cheevers going back in. Hopefully he can bounce back, and we can get some goals to help him out this time for Game 3. Well, it's quiet down a little bit, although they're still out shooting us halfway through the first. But at least the Avalanche goals have stopped.
So far.
Well, 0-0 at the end of the first period, so I'll call it a success. And with a 2-man advantage, Guy Chiron makes it 1-0 for us. So at least we can score on it now. And halfway through the period, still 1-0. So I think we kind of righted the ship there with that little minor change. And Gordie can come back any time now. And I think that was Chiron with another power play. Or no, I think the penalty had just ended. So 2-0 for us, but second goal for Guy Chiron. Gary Unger finally makes this the first non-shoutout game of the series. 2-1 for us, 10 minutes to go. And Big M, Frank Mahovlich, all even now at 2. So we need to get a goal back here. Greg Polis makes it 3-2 for the Leafs.
Come on.
No, I got to stop this and switch the strategy and put some pressure on them here. Crank the tempo up. and take a lot of risks, and let's get that goal back. And sure enough, Ernie Hick does it. So let's go back to the non-crazy tactics. I'm going to leave the tempo slightly higher than it was. What was our goalie out? Yeah, we actually tied it up with the with Cheevers pulled.
That's even more impressive.
Yeah.
Let's them pulled. See if we can win it.
Yep, and we're, I think, just a little bit past the hour here, so it'll be a good place to wind up if, in fact, we can win it. And leave us with a little bit of suspense for when Gordie Howe is coming back. Halfway through the first overtime, still no score. Shots fairly even, and are we going to make it through the first overtime period? No score in the first overtime. No, both teams weren't down a little while. We got a two-man advantage, and we didn't do anything with it. Man. And Dale Talon lets it in. There, beats Cheevers to make it 4-3 Leafs. Oh, that's kind of
oh. Of course it would be someone like Dale Talon to score, wouldn't it?
Oh, it's a Canuck. Hey, come on. Nothing says playoff success like a Canuck. So 6 minutes into the first overtime or second overtime period, Talon gets the first star of the game, not surprisingly. And we're going to have to end this one. I'll advance it one day to get us to the next game day at least. 2 days. And I guess we'll leave it off there. Let's see how the other one's going. Montreal is leading Chicago 2-1. Actually, a bit of an upset because the Canadiens were only third in their division this year. And Terry Harper out with a minor injury, so we may have to swap Van Imp in anyhow. And no Gordie Howe for Game 4. But do you want to wind up here? And then we'll save this for a couple of weeks and see if we get Howe back and can rescue this series.
Absolutely. Thank you very much for tuning into another Franchise Hockey stream. We stream every Wednesday night at 10 p.m. Eastern on twitch.tv/OOTP Developments. If you want to talk about Franchise Hockey Manager, you can reach out to us on our Facebook page, which is facebook.com/Franchise Hockey Manager. Our Twitter, which is @FranchiseHockey. Or if you want to talk about Franchise Hockey Manager, Out of the Park Baseball, or MLB Manager, your best bet is to head on down to our official website, which is ootpdevelopments.com. We click on that community button up in the top right-hand corner, and that'll bring you to our official forums. And there's lots of people talking about lots of different things on there.
And I think that pretty much covers it. I don't think we have any other major news coming up right now. I believe the Out of the Park guys are working on an update for the game. If that's not, I don't think it came out today, so they're probably fairly close on it. So you can look forward to that. And otherwise, we will see you back here next week with the Modern Wings again. And then we'll be back here in 2 weeks with the Kings to see how this pans out. If we get Gordie Howe back, if we can take back that series lead against the Leafs, or at least not get blown out like we traditionally do. Yeah, Montreal was only third place here. We actually finished tied with them for the season. So if they, I think we've got a shot at winning this if we can get back Toronto. So can the Kings become the first expansion team to win a Stanley Cup? Tune in 2 weeks from now. Otherwise, thanks for coming out, and we will see you then.